What's going on, YouTubers and Misfits? I'm really freaking excited to show you guys this game today. Monster Train, we're here to talk about. This is easily gonna be one of the best games dropping this year. Now, before you jump in, like, who is this guy? How does he know? If you have never stopped by my channel, never hung out with the Misfits, never popped by our YouTube, so what I do, what my community does, is we showcase over 200 indie games and roguelikes a year, handpicked by me. We don't just play games to get the numbers up. We don't just, you know, oh, let's just grab something, we want to play a lot of games. No, like, we handpick, find awesome gems, awesome, amazing indie games. You know, we're always on the hunt for the next big thing. And Monster Train came across my desk. I'm not gonna lie, I first looked at it, I'm like, all right, another Slay the Spire, another game like that. I get it, I thought the same thing, right? Slay the Spire is at the end of the year, we make a game of the year list, top 10 games of the year list, because we play a lot of games. It's very hard to do. And Slay the Spire has been on 2 of my game of the year lists, and it's the second game to ever do that. 2. So I love Slay the Spire. When I look at this game, I'm like, all right, you know, I played these all before, but I'll check it out. After the first showcase, where we first looked at the game, I was hooked. And since then, every single time we stopped to play it, the game has gotten better and better and grew and more mechanics and depth. It's awesome, and I can't wait to tell you guys it, and that's why I'm here, just so we could really get into the depth of it and why I love it and why I think it's going to be such a big hit. So let's talk a little bit about Monster Train. It's going to be coming out in a couple days. It's coming out later this week, actually. So this is really just to get you guys started about what's in the game, whether it's for you, and get you started with the base mechanics so you can start getting your mindset into the game and see, like, oh, this is pretty cool. This whole game takes place, hell froze over. Yes, hell froze over. And it's our job to go reignite it. So we're on a train protecting a pyre at the top of the train, which is not like super fragile. It's not just a health pool. It can also defend itself, but it, you know, you have to protect it. And the game takes place on 3 layers, bottom, middle, and top, and then the pyre room. And so the way the game works is, it's not like, I know there's a lot of other card games that's lane based. It is lane based, but in general, it works from bottom to top. Enemies are trying to go from the bottom. After a turn, they're going to move to the next layer. After a turn, they'll move to the next layer. So it's your job to figure out your strategy. And what I like to do is figure out what kind of deck I'm playing. Am I playing like more of a bottom mid-floor deck? Am I playing a top floor mid-floor deck? And that's part of the meta and the strategy, and we'll talk about that in the future videos. So what we're going to do is first talk about what is exactly in the game. So we're going to pop over here to New Run. Loading. All right. So this is a really cool part, and this is pretty unique. So in every run, you're going to start with a primary clan. What does this mean as the primary clan? This is almost like picking your hero in Slay the Spire. Kind of. Your primary clan is going to be the hero card that you get in your starting deck. You only get 1 hero card. I don't know if they're actually called hero cards, but you only get 1. You only get 1 of these bad boys. They're always free, and they always start in your opening hand. Awesome with me so far? And they're all unique. So if I picked Hellhorn, I'm going to get the Hellhorn unit in my opening hand every single battle for free. And that's going to be the main way that you start to scale. You don't have to play around your hero class, but it's usually a very powerful card. A matter of fact, you're going to find forges on the map that are only there to upgrade your hero unit for free, and you get to choose different paths. That's what they're going to be there for. So it's going to be a very powerful unit that you're going to freely upgrade throughout the game. Awesome. It doesn't matter if this hero dies. It doesn't matter. You're not trying to protect it. You can. It's just a very powerful unit in your card. It's almost like your ultimate or whatever. So the Hellhorn is going to start, you know, with this guy. We have the Awoken here, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about them, but we're also going to have feature videos that really goes into each clan and tells you their strengths and weaknesses, and we'll talk about that in the future. This is really just an introduction to get you in the mindset of the game and how it works and whether it's for you or not. Awoken, we have the Stygian, the Umbra, And I believe the last one is the wax people or candle people, which we didn't unlock yet. There's so much. I think I'm over 30 hours in the game, stream time. So with socializing and stuff, and every single thing we unlock, the game just gets better and better and better. It doesn't feel stale. Every unique that they, every new mechanic they add with each clan, it feels like it's a brand new game again. But it doesn't stop there, right? So first you're picking your primary clan, and that's the clan that you're gonna start with, right? And it's also gonna shape some of your starting deck, right? Each one comes with their own basic cards that get thrown in. But you're also going to pick an allied clan. So that's when you're looking down here. And your allied clan is your way to mix and match. So the game is always going to feel fresh. You're not just picking a main unit and a main deck. You're also picking an allied clan. And throughout the run, in your starting deck, you're also going to start with some allied clan cards. You're not going to start with their hero unit, right? So if I pick California and I pick a secondary, I'm not going to start with his hero unit. If I picked Awoken and I take Hellhorn, I'm not going to start with the Hellhorn, champion card. You only your primary. This is to shape some of your starting deck, and it's going to allow you to find their cards in the run. So you're going to find two sets of clan cards. So you're going to find your primary and your allied, and that's going to allow you to form these together to create your powerful deck. Awesome, right? It's almost like picking Ironclad and then Silent as a secondary, and then finding Silent. You're allowed to find Silent. Almost, but it's more balanced to do that. And it's really, really freaking awesome. So there's a lot of creativity. You can always run like pick random if you want, and then like see what the game throws at you if you want to like stay on your toes. It's just tons of fun. Every different combination has like their strengths and weaknesses to play around, and it's so freaking cool. So just for instance, one of the first clans that you're going to start with are Hellhorn and Awoken, and these balance beautifully just to give you some of the idea of what to expect. Hellhorn is a very powerhouse. They're very aggressive. They're like, I like to think of them as like the glass cannons. They're going to be running at an enemy for 20 damage, or double strike where they get to attack twice, but they're going to have like 4 HP. So they're going to need somebody to protect them, or they're going to need to kill the enemy before they get hit. But that's where the Awoken comes in. And what I like the Awoken is they can be very, very tanky, healthy enemies, and they can have thorns and things like that. So if an enemy attacks them, they do damage back, things like that. So I love this combo, this like peanut butter and jelly combo, where you put these guys in the front, put the damage dealers in the back. It still has their weaknesses. The game loves to throw things at you no matter how powerful you get. All of a sudden an enemy has thorns, and so now the back line is vulnerable no matter what tank you put in front of it, because when this enemy runs up to attack the enemy, he's going to be getting damage, Diabloage. So there's always these issues that you have to get around no matter how powerful you feel in this game, which is awesome. Let's come down here. Covenant rank. Covenant rank, a good way to look at this is Ascensions, right? There's 25 of them, and they're going to slowly get harder and harder. All this stuff is like what you could basically see coming. The most interesting one was the first Ascension, and we're going to talk a little bit about it. So you start at 0. Every time you beat the game, go up a Covenant rank. When you play the game with their highest Covenant rank, you get to go up another one, and you get to get better and better and better at the game. Awesome. There's another really cool thing about this is when you beat the game on any Covenant rank, you can master cards. So any card in your deck will then get a gold frame, which is just really fun. That's what it's there for, just to be fun. You can collect all the golden cards. So first Ascension is what I found the most interesting so far. The enemies become stronger. It's not the end of the world. They become a little bit stronger, and additional random cards to your starting deck. So what this means is every single run, you're going to have 3 different cards added to your deck. You're going to have a set of 2, a set of 2, and a single card, and they're random. So you're going to have a double, and a single, and they're going to be added to your deck, and this creates this element. At first, I'm like, I don't know how I feel about that. But the game also gives you a lot of tools to remove cards. You got to remember that this is its own game, and they give you a lot of creativity. You're going to be upgrading cards how you want to upgrade them. You can upgrade them in different ways. If I want to make a 3 cost, go all the way down to a 1 cost, with money, I could do it. If I want to make a, if I get lucky, I could take this powerful AoE card, make it free, and give it endless, which means that every time I use it, if I do cast it every turn, it'll come back to the top of the deck. So it'll take up my draw pile, but I get to keep using it every turn. So you can see the combinations start to get real crazy depending on what you're looking for your deck. And so what this does is it forces you to think on your toes. You're gonna get these cards and you have to decide in the beginning of a run, do I want to get these out of my deck? Do I want to play with them? Do I want to get them going? And oftentimes I find that when we get this hand that just looks awful. The other day we were playing the game and we got an end boss, and the end boss, one of the cool things this game does is it'll tell you exactly the end boss that you're gonna be up against ahead of time. It'll tell you so you can plan around it. So the game gives you strength. So while they're throwing these curses at you and these things you have to work around, they'll also be like, well, here, we'll be fair, you know, here's the boss, be ready. And so the boss was like, oh, we're gonna take away all of your spell cards. So every time you cast the first spell card of your hand, it's gonna consume, it's gonna exhaust, it's gone. So I was like, oh my god. And the game started me off with all these strong spell cards, and I was like, this is scary. But then as we go through the game, we worked around it, and it was just so freaking cool. And that's part of why this game is so damn fun. All right, let's keep moving. Hope you're following. I know there's so freaking much in this game. So let's go to not run history. Well, run history is really awesome. We could talk about that as well. This is where the game beautifully shows in a nice list your total score, your ascension that you beat the game with. You can see if you actually won or not right here, your primary clan, your secondary clan, when you've done it. And it doesn't stop there. So if I go up here, which this was one of my best runs, and we click on it, boom, it'll load up. Beautiful. You can see exactly the relics you had. You can see the cards you had. Not only that, you can see the upgrades that you put on the card. So for instance, this guy, I put multi-strike on, and you can see by this little icon right here, this means multi-strike, and it's a rare. That's a rare gem. And so each card starts with 2 gem slots to start. There is a way to increase that, but usually 2 gem slots every card. So you can see most people have 2 because we didn't increase it. That's just the base. And multi-strike means that this character is automatically going to attack twice. So all of a sudden, if you have 20 damage, no matter what, since you get multi-strike, that turns into 40 damage because it attacks twice. So now when you give him damage up, it's ×2. So it scales a lot faster. You can give somebody triple strike. So there's crazy things like that. You can see I reduced mana cost here. There's a bunch of like crazy things you could do in this game. Here's one of the things that's really cool. Stack stone, which is double stack, which means that any ability that you have on the card is going to double. So here it has sap 6, which is going to reduce the enemies, drain the enemy's power. So we doubled it. It was drain 3 and now it's drain 6 because we put a double stack on it, and this will be used for draining the boss. So what we also did is added a freeze stone. Well, Esty, what's a freeze stone? This, if you don't play the card, it freezes and it stays in your hand and it carries over. So what we did is we froze this card, we allowed it to carry over, so when a boss spawned, we could just play it, sap a lot of his energy, and keep our front line tankier. So again, the game gives you the creativity, if you find the right gems, to mix and match and make the crazy cards that you want to create, and the crazy abilities and decks, and synergize it how you want to synergize. So you can see where the fun starts to come in. You feel like a mad scientist. Here's the different battles, how much HP we lost, the score we got. The game will also throw trials at you. The fun doesn't stop. Trials is another optional difficulty modifier that you can take on when you get into a battle, a normal battle. Sometimes the game will ask you, hey, do you want to take on this additional difficulty? Maybe enemies start with armor each, or enemies are gonna have more attack, enemies are gonna start on every floor, and you could take on the trial if you want, if you're greedy enough, and it'll give you a reward, and it'll tell you, we'll give you an extra card, we'll give you gold, we'll give you a relic, and it'll tell you, and you could choose to take down the option or not. So the difficulty is your problem. If you lose, it's your fault, you know? And it's just a really, again, tying into the fun, it's really fun. You know, the game's not just gonna throw us a curveball, here's an elite, good luck. No, the game's gonna be like, if you want to take it on, go for it, brother, don't blame us, you know? And I think that's so ingenious, so ingenious. And that's not to mention the other random modifiers they're gonna find in battles that you have to work around. Awesome, right? If you're looking at generate challenge, what this means is it'll generate a random code for multiplayer, where I could take this run, I could turn it into a code, and I could share it with my community, my friends. They could pop in that code, do the exact same run, and we will have our own leaderboard. So just for the sake of showing you guys, I'll click it right here. There we go. So you can see the primary clan, the allied clan, so everyone starts on a fair footing. the Covenant rank that I beat it with. And you get our own leaderboard with our score right here. So you can look at all your friends, look at the global, and see how everyone did on this link. How cool is that little multiplayer element? Speaking of multiplayer, it doesn't stop there. So let's back out. We'll go over to multiplayer and show you some other games. We'll just briefly talk about this. So in Hell Rush, you're taking these trains and you're racing other players for score. I haven't tried it yet, but I am so freaking excited. And it's just really, really awesome that this game will add even more, as if the base game wasn't great enough. Daily challenge, you guys all know what a daily is. And custom challenges. Design your own challenge and then share it online. So I get to make a challenge, take a code, share it with my community, share it with my friends, and we can all take it on, see who gets the best score. Awesome. Last thing I want to show you guys is the log, just to show you how much is in this game and how beautiful it is. So the logbook. This is where the game's going to take you after every single run. After every time you beat a run, it's going to flip open your logbook, and these are going to start lighting up. Ding, 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 ding. And it just becomes very addictive after every run to see all the cards that you gold plated. So that's this here. All my level ups for a certain clan. As you level up, you're going to be unlocking more and more things for them. As you can see, there's so much. Like I said, I have hours and hours and hours in this game, and I'm still just unlocking all these new things. Not only that, you can exactly see what you won with. So Hellhorn and Awoken, you can see I won with Hellhorn and Stygian I woke with, and they're gonna give you flags to show you exactly how many times you won with each allied pair, which I was telling you guys about earlier. The gold cards pretty soon, and this is really cool. You have to do certain things to unlock the other classes. So in this one for Umbra, I had to cast a certain amount of spells, so we just hit that. For melting, I have to kill a certain amount of enemies, so it looks like about 2 more runs or so we'll get melting unlocked as well, and I'm so excited. I'm going in blind. I don't know anything about them. I don't want to know. This game has just been so cool. Like, I thought it only got like, I was like, oh my god, these mechanics are amazing. We're Stygian. Then we locked Umbra, and I'm like, dear god. And you'll see those videos on the YouTube as well. It'll track your streaking and your Covenant rank, so I'm on rank 5 right now. You have your different win streaks up here, so this is the Imp Cup, and that means Ascension 1 to 9 is tracking your win streaks. So in the Imp Cup, we're streak 5, so we're pretty good at the game. We're learning. We're taking it real good to get our mechanics down. And then we have the Inferno Cup, Crucible Cup, and the Herzl Cup, Ascension 25 and respectively. So the game is just real adorable with sharing all of your stuff, and it makes it very addictive. Boom, the cards. Yes, we're all here for the cards. Okay, this is a great example, and I'm just gonna briefly go over some of them. Here's the hero unit I was talking about. So when you start with what are they called, the Hellhorn, you're gonna start with a hero unit, the Hellhorn hero unit. Here it is, and you can see it's gold plated because I want to run on an Ascension with them, so I get the cool gold platings that you slowly collect over time. It's really fun, and he will always be free, always in my opening hand. And remember, I'm also gonna pick a modifier, a skill path for him, and I get to mix and match those skill paths throughout a run. For instance, this guy could get every time you kill somebody, gain damage for the battle. Or rage, so right in the beginning of battle you start with 5 rage, which is 10 extra damage. I can give him multi-strike, so there'll be different things that I can give the hero as he progresses and shape him how I want to shape him. And again, he's just powerful, he's free. While we're looking at the cards, you can also look at the top of the cards. See these 2 dots here? This is going to be a thing a lot of people miss when they're playing the game. Each hero is going to have a size, and that's what this is. You can see the Imp is 1 size, these guys are 2, you're going to find some with 3, 4 size. That's how much room on a train cart they're going to take up. And by default, you start with 5 capacity, and you're going to see that on the train cart. So each hero, that's something else you have to work around, is going to, you have to fit people into your train cart. And you can't just keep piling them in there, and that's going to become part of your strategy. There's going to be ways to increase that capacity. Not only that, there's ways to, you know, manipulate enemies and squeeze them into a cart. I'll give you one example, just because this is what slowly won me over. The game always gives you ways to like break rules in a way. For instance, when I use a card, do 3 damage to the back line and pull them forward, it doesn't just mean the enemy, because we're led to believe that you use cards, damage cards on the enemy, because that's what other games like Slay the Spire. But the creativity and the game, what this game gives you, and that's why it's so fun, is all of a sudden I can take that 3 damage, pull an enemy to the front, and use it on my enemies. And that blew my mind when I first, I'm like, wait, this is weird. So I all of a sudden wanted to get this backline unit. I had a really tanky unit in the back, and I had a fragile unit in the front. 3 damage, pull the unit to the front. I just used it on my own unit. All of a sudden, I got my tank in the front. And that's where the game slowly started to win me over. I was like, oh my god, I'm starting to see the creativity. We had another card. I don't know if we'll be able to find it. Oh, Hidden Passage, ascend a unit. And so at first, you know, I naturally picked this up and I'm like, okay, so I can ascend a unit up. Why would I want to do that? Well, I guess if I have like a really good killing floor on the second floor and enemy spawns on the first floor, I could just throw them up a unit. Then all of a sudden we learn that we can use it on our own units. Now things get interesting. So hypothetically, let's say I'm at capacity on the second floor. And then I take a unit on the bottom and I use ascend. Yes, the game will let you ascend and squeeze that unit on the second floor that's already at capacity. So now all of a sudden, I have like 8 monsters and I'm like at 9 capacity on the second floor, even though the max is 5, because I'm using ascend cards. And that can be a strategy. And this is just to give you guys the idea of the tools that the game gives you to break the rules and why it's so fun. There's always crazy concoctions that you can come up with. We had a party on the second floor, as we like to call it, deck, where the idea was we had a descend and ascend, and we were just trying to squeeze all the monsters into the second floor. So when monsters came up, there was just this huge battle, and they couldn't get past like the 9 units that I had lined up. It's just all part of the fun. We can talk about a little bit of the other keywords that we're looking at here. Piercing allows you to go through shield and armor. We have things like summon. Summon means when you play the unit, it's automatically going to cast the summon. So when it's summoned. For instance, the imp. Summon, gain 4 mana. Summon, deal 5 damage to the enemy unit. So 5 damage AoE since I play him. Let's see if we can find some other awesome keywords. We have consume. Consume is the same as exhaust. So when you consume a card, it's going to be gone for that battle. There is going to be other cards that called purge, and when you purge a card, it's gone for the run. It's a one-time use. Resolve. So this happens at the end of combat. So after a turn, he's automatically going to cast it. So every single turn at the end of battle, he's going to gain 5 armor. That's resolve. Rage. You can see here is always pick up each rage as temporary 2 damage. So this is, you know, gain 6. Now remember, if they have multi-strike, it's double. And gain 5 armor for 2 mana. And rage is going to tick down every turn. Strike. So strike is kind of like the opposite of resolve. Resolve is at the end of combat. This is going to be every time he hits somebody. Every time he hits somebody, he's going to gain 3 strength. So this guy can probably do some quick scaling. Give him multi-strike, and we probably have a scary beast on our hands. And you can also see he's at 3 capacity. You can see my gold frames I'm starting to collect. This card's interesting. In piercing, it's expensive. It deals 100 damage to friendly and enemy units. So a whole floor is getting wiped, dude. 100 damage to everybody. It makes for a very interesting deck. I just want to find some other keywords for you guys to get you guys comfortable with what kind of things that we're looking at here. Enhance. So draw X cards and enhance it with -2 mana cost. So what this is going to do is draw cards. And enhance means that it like can't be taken away. So if an enemy like removes a buff or something, an enhance means like that, and like that unit permanently has it for the battle. It can't be taken away. So this is going to enhance cards for -2 mana. So you could probably make a lot of cards either free or a lot cheaper that you draw, and they're like that for the rest. So next time you draw them, they're still going to be cheap. So that's what enhance means. It's really, really powerful. Quick. Let's talk about that one. Quick is like your rush down. So what quick means is every time you get into a battle, enemies get to attack first. Enemies will attack you, and they will all attack you. So if there's 3 enemies, one unit will attack, 2 and 3. They all get to attack first, your front line. Then you get to attack. So what animus means, animus of speed, quick, means is this enemy gets to throw out a 25 damage spear before the enemies get to do anything. And you could play a build. There was one time where we got to multiply this card times 5. So we multiplied it by 5. We had 5 of them, and we made a rushdown deck where we just put all the animuses in 1 floor and 2 floors. As soon as the enemies got up there, all of a sudden they had all these enemies. And the enemies didn't get to strike a lot of the times because we were rushing them down. We were attacking before them. And the idea was just to kill them before they even can attack. Again, the game gives you a lot of ways to play. This one's big, the hollow units. Hollow units always start with what looks like not a lot of HP, but they gain a ton of max HP as soon as they come out. So you spawn it and it gains plus 40 max HP. So this unit actually has 55 max HP. They're really interesting. They start, which seems squishy, but if you have good heal cards, all of a sudden this guy has 55 health. People are not getting through that. Not only that, rejuvenate. Every time you heal this creature, it gets +1 attack, +1 health. Put something like regen on him, so every turn he gains health, this guy becomes a beast. And that's why I love hollow units. And again, this is why I love playing the Awoken with the Hellhorn, because you get to start with tanky units. Sweep means you attack, it's like an AoE. You attack everybody on the floor. Any other big cards? And we're just going over a lot of the main keywords here. Draw, you put this guy on the top floor, you draw an extra card each turn. Awesome. And what I hope is that this is really just giving you guys just a good example of all the depth and all the fun in the game, and we're still just scratching the surface, and I've been talking my guys' ears off. And we can get into the class specifics like spell weakness, and we're not going to do that until the future, but again, I'm purposely just trying to talk about the basic stuff. We're getting into some crazy things here. Let's not talk about any of this stuff. All right, let's go over to the heroes. Each hero is going to have a different branch. We'll talk about this really quick. For instance, when you pick Hellhorn, this is what I was talking to you about, the branches that you get to go down. So we can start with Brawler, Reaper, Wrathful. So we can go the multi-strike route, where a unit starts with multi-strike. Remember, any way they scale, they're going to scale ×2. We could choose Reaper, and the game will always give you a choice of 2, and you get to choose a path. Slay. So every time he kills somebody, he gains 10 attack. So he can scale really fast if he's going for kills. In this one, every time he slays, he gains armor, and every time he gets hit, he gains rage 2. Again, there's different ways to play the game. Revenge doesn't mean he has to be the tank. He can be in the back line. I can ping him with damage of my own and give him rage if I want. You know, it's just an option. I don't know if I would do it, but you can. You can. And so each hero will have their own way to their own branching skill paths, and they're all unique. You can see this guy reduces mana cost if you use spells on the floor that he's on, which is adorable. He's more spell focused, and each character will have their own. It's awesome. It's you guys can tell I get too excited. I'm rambling. Okay. Artifacts, awesome. There's freaking 90 right now. I haven't seen most of them, and I have so many hours. These are going to be all your normal artifacts that you can find on any run, and then you have a bunch of clan-specific ones. And I'll just give you a quick example of some. What are some really interesting ones? This one. When you play your third card of the turn, draw 2. Okay. There's some real... Oh, this one is really fun. We started to run with this one. Sketches of Salvation. At the start of battle, summon 4 random units from your deck on the middle floor. Crazy, right? Something that you definitely have to think before you pick up and play around. We did play a run around it. It's really interesting. If you take a lot of expensive units or big capacity units, the game can then pick those units, because it's going to pick random ones. You want to make sure that the units that you have in your deck are impactful, and it'll squeeze them onto the middle floor, and you can play a run like that. 1, it starts you off with a lot of tempo. 2, you don't have to worry about playing them and them clogging your deck, because when you play a unit, it's out of your deck. You play a unit once. Your spells, you're going to play as many times as you want, as long as it doesn't have consume. So one of the cool things is getting your units out fast, so when you redraw your deck, when you redraw your hands, and you shuffle your deck, you don't draw them again. You want them on your field. So this just really speeds you up. It seems like it can be scary. It can. But if you play around it, it can be very powerful. And this is just part of the fun that the game throws at you. Here's one. 50% chance to remove a buff effect when an enemy unit enters the bottom trade. So when an enemy comes in, you have 50% chance to like remove their thorns, remove all their crazy stuff that they have. We can get into Hellhorn. He has very powerful stuff. Impsicle. At the start of a turn, add a random imp to your hand. Or Rage doesn't decay on friendly units. So you have a multi-strike unit, you use something like Rage. Rage is supposed to go down once per turn. All of a sudden, you don't have to worry about that. Rage is just a permanent buff. Crazy, right? And it just keeps going and going, and the creativity is just crazy. This one, for instance, increase 2 capacity on the middle floor, so the middle floor automatically becomes bigger. Once you have this, you can squeeze in another unit or 2. Juicy. Ton of stuff here. Oh, and there's also these, which are event specific. You can only get these relics from events, and they can be really freaking cool. Anything I missed? I think we nailed everything. And you could just see this game is just absolutely adorable. I played your Slay the Spires, One Step from Eden's, Dicey Dungeons, Retropolis. I played all the card game. I'm telling you, that's what we do here. And I'm telling you, this is something big. So I really hope you guys enjoyed. If you are watching this, so many of you, I see you guys growing. I see the Misfit community growing, and we just started this YouTube channel, and I'm so glad that the reception has been so great. I see you guys commenting down below, or commenting on other people's comments just to encourage them, this and that, and it's so awesome to see. A lot of you were so enthusiastic about the the videos that you've been popping over to the Twitch just to let us know, oh my god, dude, I found your video, I've been loving this game, I had to thank you. And you guys are swinging by and it's just been great, and I thank you guys so much for that. We also have a Discord that you guys can jump in if you can't get to the live stream or the live show, and you really want to hang out with the community. Jump in the Discord. You'll reach me in there 24/7. So I just want to really thank you guys. We're so excited to bring you guys all this content. We have a bunch of clan guides and clan tips and stuff like that coming up as well. So let us know what you guys think down below, and we can't wait to bring you guys some more energy and some more showcases. All right, let's see you guys soon. Thank you.